Okay. So we've done our hillside here. Now, again, initially I was going to make this a drive, but I've decided to make it more of a path. So what I think we're going to do is work on some of the textures, but we'll start at the very front here. And start fixing our texturing through the front of the gateway here. So let's go into our landscape tool, into paint mode. And let's see, let's try some rock. Again, my atmospheric fog is getting in the way here, so I'm going to just switch it off temporarily. There we go. So what I was thinking for this pathway is we're going to actually use an actual texture of like a brickwork circular pattern. So before we get to that though, I want to make sure that the front of the here is looking correct. So let's go with some mud. I may just paint some of that watery texture back in, just here and there.
But now I lost my way. I can't tell the difference between you, between me, and the search for an answer. I can't tell the truth, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer. The things I fear the most, between you, between me, and the search for an answer, sure to die away. Even though it takes courage to capture a dancer.
This is a texture I haven't used, so I've just got to wait for the shader to compile that section of the landscape. It's another rock texture. I'm really not sure what it looks like. We'll find out in just 2 seconds. Now I also have I have dry leaves, dead leaves, fallen leaves. I think I might bring some of those in as well. That could add a bit of interest to the sides of the garden here, and along the path itself as well. When our shader's finished compiling. Okay. Okay, let's jump in back into our foliage tool, and I'm going to look for those leaves that I have. Where did I put them? Okay, they're in terrain. I'm going to pull back my brush size a bit. It's a bit big. Okay, let's make sure we have everything turned off apart from those leaves. I'm going to pull back on the density a bit just to begin with to see how we go. And pull up on the radius. I'm just going to paint some in to test the size. And they're way too big. Let's just undo that. So we want to knock back the scale quite a bit. So we're going to go 0.1 to 0.2. Let's see how that goes. Again, our shaders are compiling here because it's the first time we've used this asset, so we will give it a minute. I think these leaves will look good spread along the path as well, but I actually want to break this pathway up a little bit because it's just looking a bit too open. I think what I'll do is I'll end up pulling in some of these side parts of the terrain in a bit here and there. And that'll help when we animate our camera up the path. It'll add more interest. Shaders and getting there. This shader compile only has to be done once the first time you use an object. After that, it doesn't need to be done again. Unless you're painting on a new part of the terrain. Alright, let's see what the size are now. I think they're still a bit big. The colour looks strange. Why is that? I'll worry about the colour in a minute. What I'm going to do though is just undo that because those leaves are a little large. And we're going to make them a little bit smaller again. So 0.05 to 0.1. See what that does. It's still too big. Alright. Okay. 0.02 to 0.05. Let's try that one. And they're still too big. Alright. Zero point 0.005. Okay, we're getting there. Still a bit big though. Zero point 001 to 0.05. Almost. 0.006. Oh, still too big. Wow, I really did make these leaves quite large. So what I have to do is make sure the leaves look consistent with the leaves of the tree, and the tree leaves are quite small. So I know that these leaves are really way too big. I may have to go back in to the actual mesh to reduce it that way. Now I'm not seeing them, so I think we may have gone a bit too small now.
You're my star tonight. Oh, yeah, your light gets me through the night. Oh, yeah, we fly and we soar the heights. Oh, yeah, the sky will be ours tonight when we.
All right. Now we're getting leaves about the right size, I think. Yep. Except the smallest leaf is a bit too small. If I zoom way in here, you can see that tiny bunch there. That means that my minimum value here is a bit too tiny, so I'm going to pull this one up to maybe 0.1. We really don't need variation on the size of the leaf. We shouldn't need variation. Just undo that one more time. I think that might be a bit better. A little bit smaller. Let's go 0.03. I'm just going to paint them in over near the actual grass, so that'll give me a better idea of the size of them. Yeah, no, I think that should be okay. We could go a little smaller still. Let's go 0.02. Okay. My minimum value didn't stick. That was the reason that the size looked wrong. So I'm going to look at that here. So we're going to go back to 0.05, 0.04. Unreal wasn't registering the change in size here on the side, so that's better. Okay. So that size is good. It now just got to work out what's going on with the material here. So I'm just going to jump out of paint mode for a minute. Open up our mesh here. It could just be an artifact of the lighting in Unreal at the moment. Because in the editor here, the leaves color looks okay. I'm going to open up one of the shaders to check what it's doing. I'm going to hold down the 1 key and add a constant to make sure that everything else that shouldn't be bright isn't bright. Add another constant to all of these values just to tone down the color of the leaf a bit more. We can see what it's doing over here in the corner. So one into the metallic, one into the roughness. I think we've only got, looks like we've got 2 more to change out. Okay, I think we're back to the last one now. I'm not using a normal map on these leaves, there's really no need. They're such a small object in the scene. Okay, and let's just help to bring up the colour of our leaves so they don't look quite so strange. Let's go back into our foliage editor here. Just going to hold down the shift key to remove these leaves. Now we can paint them in. I actually think they're a bit small. Let's check that. No, actually no, they're okay. But we do want to pull up on the density a bit, I think. I'm just double checking to make sure that the size is correct. Wondering if we should go a little bit larger. We may do that. Why not? Just going to remove those So instead of 0.04, let's go 0.06. I think that might be a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I want to see them a little bit better on the ground. Let's drop some over this side as well. Okay, that just helps to break up that brown against the green, helps to define the edges of our entry here a bit more. Alright. Again, I'm just going to look at my ground texture here. So back into my landscape tool, into the paint tool. And let's go with maybe some dried dirt. I'm not going to go too far past the edge here because the camera is probably only going to be about here. So anything past here is not going to be seen. Might just add a bit more variation to the dirt colour though, by mixing in another one. Just putting a bit of a rock texture here and there. Alright, let's just pull back here. I'm going to turn my exponential height fog back on again. Let's jump back to our bookmarks. So bookmark 0. Alright. And let's just travel up our path again now. Again, I want to bring the landscape in on either side here and add some of those dead leaves. I think that would make an interesting look. I think what I may do here is just do a quick rebuild on the lighting because I've added quite a lot to the scene, so I'm just going to build the lighting, rebuild the lighting one more time. Now I'm using a directional light here that is set to movable, and I'm using a skylight that is set to static. The skylight just helps to add ambient light, and the movable light, as the directional movable light, helps to throw more even shadows on the foliage. You can set the skylight to movable as well, but we're going to be creating a building, an Art Deco building for the middle here that we're going inside of, and setting a skylight to be movable can give you strange looking lighting inside of an object, inside of a building. So we're not going to do that. We're going to try and avoid doing that anyway. I'm not actually going to be animating any of the lights, even though I have set it to movable. And that's just more because we're using so much foliage. If we set it to static on our directional light, it would bake light maps for all of our pieces of foliage, and we're using a lot of foliage, so a lot of plants and grasses and trees. So I'm going to avoid using static lighting, because it'll create really large light maps, and it's not advised with a lot of foliage like this to use a static directional light. If you go to Epic's website and look at the documentation, they always recommend you use a movable directional light for a lot of foliage in an outdoor environment like this. Again, rebuilding the lighting is probably one of the most time-consuming parts of using the engine. I mean, it's still pretty good compared to what it used to be. I remember years ago I used to do levels for Quake or Doom back then, and rebuilding the lighting in that engine used to have to leave it go all overnight. It'd take like 12 hours. So compared to that, Unreal's engine is mega fast. Again, I do remember, guys, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If I can help, I'm happy to try. If you want to pop in and say hi, that's always welcome. If you just want to watch, that's completely fine. Gives us a chance while the lighting rebuilds just to have a look at the landscape anyway. So what I'm going to attempt now, well, not now, but our next course of action is to actually start working on more of the inside of the landscape here now, this lower section through here. We want to place our Art Deco building in the middle over here. So we need to add grass and a few other interesting bits and pieces to the lower lying landscape through here. I don't know if you can see it there. I've also got this tree trunk, which is just a dead tree that's been chopped down. That's an interesting looking tree trunk. I want to bring that into the front yard of the Art Deco buildings. I think that would look really interesting as we fly our camera through an cinematic. I can still move my camera around while the lighting is being rebuilt. Let's just jump through our bookmarks. Bookmark 0, so we have the front of our entryway. Bookmark 1, which is our pond area. 2 is the back behind the building. This is in the building will be over here, and this is behind it. What's bookmark 3? Oh, just a different shot from the front. Let's go back to 1. Just going to clear out bookmark 3. unusual for Unreal to take this long to do a build of the lighting, but we have added a lot more foliage to the scene, so. And remember too, I'm running OBS, which is using a lot of my resources, as well as Max and Photoshop and everything else open in the background. It's going to cancel the lighting build there. Make sure a file is saved. I may finish it up there for today, guys. I think I do want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on again on Monday next week at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's my regular schedule. It doesn't change. So I will be back on again at 5 p.m. on Monday next week. If you're not sure when I'm live though, you can keep an eye on my Twitter page at BillDoes3D. I always post when I'm live, and so when you see my post go up on Twitter, the 10-minute countdown is on and I'm live. Like I said though, I thank you guys very much for hanging out and for watching today. I will be back on again on Monday next week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll continue on with our Art Deco building landscape here next week. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out, and I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. See ya.